All right, introduce yourself.
I am Jessica Simona Griffith. I always give my middle name because I'm distinct and there's another Jessica. So I like to stand apart from the other Jessica. Even though I'm African American and she is white, I still like to say my whole name is Jessica Simona with the I Griffith.
All right, tell us about yourself.
Okay, well, Jessica grew up in Danville, Virginia. I actually got this job, really I like to say, through the other Jessica. We met somewhere, I believe, at an event that she was covering. I said, hey, I want to do a talk show. I started doing a talk show. I think management was feeling me a little bit. So they were like, hey, Mark Children, one of the other guys, he was out one night. I was so glad because I always secretly wanted to work here anyway. So I was glad that he took off for a week because that was my big chance to show them what I had. So they liked me. I came in one night and he said, hey, would you like to do some of the talk segments? I said, I would love to. That was 7 years ago. It's been history ever since.
All right, what do you like most about the station?
I don't like anything about the station now since I've been working here. No, I'm just kidding. No, what I like most about working here is that I can really be myself and I'm accepted as I really am. And I don't have to put on any airs or be anything that I don't want to be. I can just freely be myself. I can say what I want to say as long as it's, not offending anyone. And of course, we have to do everything PG, not R. But I like that I can just really be Jessica.
All right, and if you have any careers in reality TV, what do you want to do?
I'm more of the Real Housewives of franchise. I would love to be featured in a Real Housewives franchise, and so people can delve into my personal life because I think it's kind of interesting. I have a lot of weird characters around me, I have a lot of normal people around me too, but I like that most of the people that I'm around are very eccentric and are their own characters to themselves, including myself. I'm a character too.
How would you be a housewife if you're not married?
Because if you don't watch the Housewives, none of them are married. Maybe like 4 or 5 out of all of the franchises. My favorite franchise being Atlanta, and only 2 of them are married. Didn't you know that? So of course I could be a housewife because I haven't been married.
All right, does it bother you that we're behind the camera and you're not?
Usually I'm behind the camera. I don't like to get in front of it that much, but that's horrible.
Are you willing to do it?
Yeah, I'm willing to do it.
Okay. Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Jonathan Herring. I've worked here for about 7 years. I just had moved into town when I first came up here. I didn't even know there was a news station up here. I came up to the Hollywood Cinema because I love movies. More than anything else, I love movies. And I found out there's a TV station back here too. I was working in the movie theater in my first week, and Charles came back and said, hey, grab a camera. We got to go on a story. And I liked going out shooting news because you're right where the action is, you get to see it first. And so I like doing that, and I continued to learn more about camera work and video production.
So it's working for you?
I like it. Best job I've ever had.
Okay, why is it the best job you ever had?
You're not stuck. A lot of my other jobs I worked in factories or fast food, you're stuck in one spot. You don't get to go outside, breathe air, interact with people. You just have to do one thing over and over and over. I don't really get into that. I like having the mobility, something new every day. I love having that. I've learned how to edit. I've learned how to start editing, and I really like color correction. Getting the color just right. That's one of my things that I like to do is get color just right in video. Now I run the drone that we have. I get to take pictures from way up in the air now, which is really fun.
Is it true to say that you're kind of anal about equipment?
What I don't like is, I try and keep the equipment in good working order, and I have a method to do that. It has to be put away just so to be ready for the next use. And what kind of gets on my nerves is when I come in and I see my camera bag and just all the equipment just laid out, all the wires tangled up, and that gets under my skin a little bit. I don't like
Who does that?
Charles does a lot of that, but honestly, if anyone picks up equipment that's not me, they will put it back wrong.
Who's classic for doing that?
Charles is, because he uses it more than anybody else. But basically, if somebody else takes something and uses it, I can count on it not being put back the way it's supposed to be put back.
It's because I have to do 50 other jobs.
Have you ever been around when Charles has dropped a camera?
I have been around when some equipment has been broken here and there. That gets under my skin, but to be honest, during when I was responsible for a camera, the wind blew it down and I couldn't catch it. So I have one broken camera under my belt too. But so I try not to be too upset with people, when they are rough on the equipment. I just try and remind them to do it right, and it'll last longer.
All right, tell us about the vest real quick.
I'm wearing my vest because it's got so many pockets. Anything. Well, let me see. The vest is something that I have because you never know what you're going to need. On any given situation, you might need some tape, some scissors, zip ties. You always have to be prepared. That's what I like to be, is prepared with equipment. I always like to have whatever I need to do the job.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Charles Rourke. I've been here too damn long, and I'm ready to do some reality TV.
All right, and tell us about Martinsville. What's it like working in Martinsville in Henry County?
Martinsville's a backward town. Folks are not real smart here, but you always have to fight ignorance and craziness and so forth, whether it be the audience or the employees. Right now, while we're doing this, we're supposed to be doing a show that has no call-ins, but Jessica Simona Griffith is doing her thing, and she's doing a call-in, and I'm about to go, get on them in a few minutes, and that kind of frustrates me.
Yeah. What else frustrates you about working in a small town?
The police don't want to talk, but we end up making shows out of them. They become the news, and it does get pretty interesting, but of course I kind of get a bad name for it.
What do you mean by you get a bad name?
Everybody thinks I'm the bad guy. The police are the real bad guys, but they think we're the bad guys.
Tell us about how it was to have to report on the Henry County Sheriff's Office when they got indicted.
Well, to be frank with you, it was justification, because we've been telling folks for years that the Henry County Sheriff's Office were doing wrong things, and finally 13 of them went to jail.
Yeah. What about politicians? How tough is it working with them locally?
What's really interesting about politicians is just how dumb they are. I asked some questions the other day. I asked them, are you ready to do a spreadsheet, like in a budget? What we found out is most of the politicians don't even know what a spreadsheet is.
All right, and what's it like with your private life here? Because it's a small town.
My private life is I don't want to talk about it.
And do people give you a hard time about that?
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's the thing. You get a lot of flack because you kind of tell everybody else's business, but you do keep private. Tell us about that. Okay, that's fair enough. Tell me about the guy who's got his face X'd out there behind you.
We hate him. He's an asshole. He's the worst employee we've ever had.
So what happens there on the board as people come and go, they get X'd out?
That's right. That actually was the other reality show we had here. They wanted to X him out, so we agreed to do it. It wasn't too hard, though. Can I slap him?
All right, what's the future for Charles Rourke here if reality TV happens? What do you think?
If reality TV happens, I might stay 2 more years.